Healthy Living in the Four Corners is brought to you by San Juan Regional Medical Center. When you lose your lymph nodes from surgery or an accident, you may find yourself swelling up from a condition called lymphedema. I was fortunate enough to visit the lymphedema clinic at San Juan Regional Medical Center, where therapist Cynthia Billings treats patients with the condition. Here's what she had to say.
It's important to differentiate between regular edema, which is just fluid there, versus lymphedema, which is protein that's in that in the tissue that's drawing fluid to it. It's kind of analogous to like if you had a pot of beans, and beans are protein, and you put water in it, and they're dried beans, they're going to pull all the water. And so the same thing happens with the protein in your tissue. It pulls water. And then if your lymphatic system is insufficient because you've had lymph nodes removed or the tissue is damaged from radiation, it's difficult to transport. Lymphedema happens in technically 4 stages. There's stage 0, which is if you've had lymph nodes removed or you've had damage to your lymphatic system from trauma or radiation, again, or surgery. You're at stage 0. So meaning there's something wrong with your lymph system, but your body's compensating. Stage 1 is what's referred to as the stage where it's spontaneously reducible, meaning you might get swelling and then it might go away at night or it might go away with activity, but it just kind of comes and goes. Then stage 2 is where you start getting what they call pitting edema. You kind of look like the doughboy where you push in and you remove your finger and it's still kind of dented in. So that's kind of the proteins and the fats starting to deposit. Stage 2 is what's referred to as the spontaneously irreversible. So you're stuck with it unless you do something about it. And then if you do nothing about it, and that goes to stage 3, and that's where you get a lot of the fibrosis, and then ultimately the elephantiasis, where it's like really big and fibrotic. You might also have some wounds, weeping wounds. Yeah. Basically, if you get too much swelling, you end up with too much fluid, which decreases the oxygenation in the area, which then makes you much more at risk for infection, and your body can't fight infection as well. And so that's where I come in, and you can move that fluid via a manual technique called manual lymphatic drainage. And it's a lot of people confuse it with massage. But it's very different because the manual lymphatic drainage is a very light technique because the superficial lymphatics or the shallow lymphatics are really just beneath the skin. And so if you were to come along and go, oh, well, I heard you're supposed to do massage for, swelling, you're actually going to smash the lymphatics and make it worse. Through the manual lymphatic drainage, that's how you reroute the fluid. And then you want to be able to, since the fluid's rerouted, you also want to use compression after that because that helps keep the fluid from returning and keeps what you got out of there, and it also decreases the likelihood of it reaccumulating.
If you'd like to know more about lymphedema, its causes and treatments, visit sanjuanregional.com. I'm Deborah Uroda for Healthy Living in the Four Corners.